This isn't about naked ladies in video games. This is, again, about control. And right now, two unelected, unregulated, privately owned companies control what you can buy, sell, and create on the internet.
I hope you're ready. I'm about to perform a public disservice.
Charles, does this sound weird to you? The world has decided that bankers, the same people who can't get your direct deposit right and then charge you $35 when you're overdrawn on a cup of coffee, these guys are now our moral guardians. Mastercard. This is not hyperbole or clickbait title. Mastercard now decides what you can and can't see on the internet. I guess it's not enough for Visa and Mastercard to process your money. Now they're here to make sure you don't buy anything scandalous.
Oh, the scandal.
Oh, they've taken it upon themselves to decide what you're allowed to see, hear, or play. Not because it's illegal, but because it's bad for their brand. Because nothing says protect the brand like, we've decided you're not allowed to see boobies in a video game anymore. Well, don't worry. We'll still process payments for online casinos and payday lenders and booze peddlers. What the hell's he talking about? All right, I'll tell you. Here's the setup. There is an Australian decency group called Collective Shout. On July 14th, they stopped going after the platforms they hate, mostly Steam and itch.io. This time, they went for the wallet. They went to Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal and told them, shut down these filthy smut peddlers. Well, come on, these billion-dollar corporations aren't going to succumb to pressure for, oh my God, it fucking worked! Steam suddenly rolled out this vague new guidelines about certain types of adult content and started retiring games. Nothing illegal, just stuff that might upset the delicate sensibilities of a bank executive. Itch.io freaked the fuck out. Freaked out and started de-indexing every not suitable for work game from their search results. And why? Well, if Visa and MasterCard pull the plug, their whole payment system goes down. It's the financial equivalent of yanking the power cord from the wall. You're done. You're shut down completely. And that's the new censorship model. Forget passing laws, public debate. Just threaten the payment processor. It's faster. It's quieter. There's none of that messy democracy First Amendment bullshit getting in the way. So let's talk about MasterCard's favorite new toy, Rule 5.12.7. This is a rule that says they can block anything potentially offensive that lacks artistic value if they think it might hurt their reputation. I don't think I have to ask an audience like this the obvious next question, but I will. Who decides what's offensive? They do. Alone, in private. No oversight. No, you can't appeal. You see, legally, well, in the United States, legally, the standard for obscenity is actually pretty narrow. You do have to prove that something has no serious literary or artistic or political or scientific value. But MasterCard just rewrote that standard to mean whatever the hell we say it is. So they've basically replaced the law with corporate policy. And Visa did the same thing under their new integrity risk program, which sounds like a really bad failed reality show. Same rules, same moral panic, same vague brand risk language. Between the two of them, they've now created a moral choke point for the entire internet economy. I'm getting deja vu vibes here. Have we heard this joke before? Back in 2021, MasterCard rolled out new rules for adult sites. It was mandatory ID verification, pre-approval of content, banning certain search terms. Well, obviously the ACLU and a bunch of sex workers went ballistic because vague rules plus overcompliance means everything gets censored. One performer, Vanial, said she literally lost her rent money overnight because an automated tracking system just flagged her content. Perfectly legal content exchanged between consenting adults, poof, gone. And now that exact same playbook is being used against adult-themed video games. The same vague rules, the same moral posturing, the same collateral damage, especially for queer creators or kink-positive creators or anyone working outside the mainstream industry. Independent game developers, understandably, furious. The IGDA, their lobbying group, says the vague enforcement is killing games that don't even violate any rules, especially LGBTQ or marginalized creators. Developers are all telling us the same story. They got no warning, they got no explanation, there's no appeal process. One dev told us, quote, "It's crazy that a few dozen people's personal hangups get a payment processor to pull the plug on my game." Another one said, "If you ban NSFW content, you're basically banning queer political speech." And remember, this is not about protecting minors from illegal content. It's about what makes banks uncomfortable, which, given the banking industry's history, is a fucking joke. This is the same bunch of assholes that are perfectly fine laundering Russian mafia money, perfectly fine with predatory lending, perfectly fine with collapsing the economy with subprime mortgages, and then getting a taxpayer-funded bailout in the end. But God forbid there's a game about two cartoon lesbians playing mini-golf. I mean, gamers, devs, and creators aren't taking it quietly, necessarily. The internet has lit up with outrage, social media calling VISA and Mastercard unelected censorship boards. People are openly debating if payment processing should be treated like a public utility, because when two companies control all the pipes, it's not a free market anymore. Some folks went bananas. They organized massive phone calls to Visa and Mastercard customer service, completely clogged up the lines. There's a great YouTube video. I'll put it down there. It documented the campaign, "Gamers Flood Visa Phone Lines Over Censorship." Other tubers like Ember, they've been raising funds for the ACLU. They're warning that it's not going to stop at adult games. And she's right. If you can choke off the money for one kind of legal content, you can do it for literally anything. There's even a petition with almost 250,000 signatures telling Visa and MasterCard to knock it off. And yes, the ACLU, impotent as they are back, filing an FTC complaint because this is creeping censorship, masquerading as brand safety. Now, the ironic, perhaps moronic part, Visa, MasterCard, they said they did this to protect their brand, but the backlash is actually harming their brand. Besides that, their customer service is just completely swamped. Call reps are just hanging up on people just to get through the day. Online, they're being roasted as hypocrites and power-hungry censors. Meanwhile, the platforms like Itch.io, they're already actively starting to look for other payment processors, free speech-friendly ones like maybe Veritel or CC Bill, who knows. But if this trend keeps up, Visa and MasterCard are going to lose a gigantic slice of online content market, not just for adult stuff, but entire industries that they've decided are too risky for their image. This is the part that should scare everyone. Even if you've never played a single not suitable for work game in your life, when two companies control the global money pipeline and they start making moral decisions for everyone, we're all in trouble. The ACLU is right. Obviously, this is constitutionally protected speech, but you can't exercise that free speech if your income stream gets shut off because those same executives decided your art isn't serious enough. I mean, hell, let's talk about the art standard for a second. Who made MasterCard the Museum of Modern Art? If they think games aren't art, well, fine, but look at the billions in revenue. Look at the global audiences. Look at the fact that games can tell stories about war, death, love, trauma, and yes, even sexuality, a normal function of basic human biology. Because that's the slippery slope. If offensive plus brand risk is the standard, anything can be banned. Politics, religion, protests. Hell, the banks themselves could just ban media criticizing banking. This isn't about naked ladies in video games. This is, again, about control. And right now, two unelected, unregulated, privately owned companies control what you can buy, sell, and create on the internet. Not because it's illegal, but because it makes them uncomfortable. That's not a payment system. That's a moral dictatorship with a MasterCard logo stamped on it. And I'm telling you now, if we don't push back, they're not going to stop at games. Next time, it could be your hobby, your work, your free speech. And when the bank decides your voice is too risky, you'll be wishing you spoke up when it was someone else's turn. Like, definitely share, click subscribe, leave a comment. Go to hell. I don't care what you do.
Where the hell's all my favorite games?